This week from the Senate Democratic Caucus, House leaders and education officials warn the public about the potential devastation to our educational system if the governor's proposed budget cuts are enacted. Senate Democrats are crisscrossing the state this summer, talking with teachers, administrators, and parents about how the governor's proposed budget cuts will hurt the education of school-aged children. California can remain an economic and global leader with a strong educational system only if we invest wisely in our future. The state budget determines what California's priorities are and what needs to be done to keep our families strong and vital. Senate Democrats are fighting to protect education funding and improve our children's academic results. Classroom performance is essential to a competent workforce and a strong economy. Under the governor's budget plan, schools across California will have to lay off teachers and staff and cut back on vital programs such as summer school, which means thousands of students will fall farther behind in school and be at greater risk of not going to college. While cuts may save the state a few dollars this year, it will cost California a lot more in the future.
Either we are going to say California is going to be different than it is today, or it's going to get worse. And we're committed to stay in Sacramento as long as we have to, this summer, this fall, in order to get a budget that protects education. These kids are not responsible for the crisis that we're in, and we're not going to make them pay for it to get out of it. It's that simple.
California was ranked 47th in the country in per-pupil education funding, according to EdWeek. And that's before the governor proposed slashing the K-12 education budget by $4.8 billion. That's the equivalent of laying off 1/3 of the state's teaching workforce, increasing class sizes by 35%, shortening the school year by 1 month, or eliminating all textbook purchases for all public school students in the state for the next 4 years.
We are the wealthiest state and the wealthiest nation in the world. There is something wrong with the picture that says we can't fund our schools, we can't provide spaces for our students at universities, that we can't provide health care to our senior citizens and our most vulnerable populations. There is something wrong with that picture.
California's economy is growing and evolving. So is San Diego. We're a high-tech, biotech, life sciences, computer-oriented economy that's not your old-fashioned economy anymore. Our students have to be forward-thinking and technologically adept.
Today, my wife and I had lunch. It cost us $19. Do you think it would have bothered me to pay 1 more cents on a sales tax in order to help our schools? That would have been a grand total of 19 cents. And yet if we did that, we could raise $5.5 billion, and we could take care of that $4.4 billion that the governor wants to take away.
I think the hardest part about being here today is to hear the pain in the voice of the parents that have just spoken, and also the teachers and the employees and the principal who care so much about the quality of the education for their children.
We all know we are in a very difficult budget year. The governor has proposed $4.8 billion in education cuts across the state. These proposed cuts could not come at a worse time for our state, our schools, or our students. The young people standing behind us, and we always use the cliche, kids are our future. Are we going to live up to it? Because these kids did not create the problem we find ourselves in, and yet they and the students who come after them will pay for it if we don't make the right decisions.
The bottom line, say Senate Democratic leaders, the governor's deep budget cuts would ultimately force layoffs of thousands of teachers, a situation that would further damage California's economy at the worst possible time. Just like an average family, we must set priorities. And just like most every family, our kids come first. For more information on this and other stories, check out the Senate Democratic Caucus website.